I'm Joanne Cary. Welcome back to Embodied Soul Podcast, a multidimensional space intended to support you in living, being, and thriving as the embodied soul you are. In this week's episode, I ask you to get curious, to bring in that little aspect of you, that inner child, to come forth and explore why you do the things you do, why you behave, why you respond, why you react, why you like. It's a curious exploration, and I'm called to share about it today because the energies are calling forth for us to be fully clear on what gets to stay and what needs to be released in the days and the months to come. So if you are ready to join me, pull up a comfy chair, invite in your soul, and be open to receive exactly what you need to live, be, and thrive as the embodied soul you are. So I was called to speak about a couple of questions that I use to navigate the world that I'm in. And part of it really comes down into being in wonder. I wonder why these things are the way they are. And in particular, the questions that I want you to ask that I have found so profound is, why do I act the way I act? Why do I do the things that I do? Why do I behave the way that I do? Why do I believe the things that I believe? It's a lot of whys. And for parents of young kids or grandkids, and they're always going, why? Well, there's a beauty in the innocence and the wonder that comes with being curious and asking yourself why. Because remember, everything is an inside job. We may think that we're impacted and that people can control us and that people can somehow make us do things that we don't want to do. And the truth is they can't. We are completely able to do what we want. We are always in choice. We've covered another episode just on that topic. But when we begin to observe why it is that we do the things that we do, say the things, why do we respond or react the way we do to certain things, as we become super curious about what makes us tick. And this is something that I found fascinating, I think probably all of my life, is that I always like to know why things work. How do little things go together? How do we tick? How do we just tick? And a lot of people don't want to look at that. You know, you're living your life, you're busy doing it. And that inquisitiveness about who you are is actually very fundamental and very powerful in revealing to you the limitations, the belief patterns, structures, indoctrinations, teachings that are actually keeping you from stepping forward as the full expression of you in this lifetime. We have spent our lives, first of all, we've come into a family unit, we've come into a part of the world, we've come into a religion or a culture that have all teachings and trainings. And we know this. Many of you listening to this, you know that we then create beliefs based on all of the things that we're taught that we then take on as our own. And because this happens basically from the time we're in the womb to the time we come out and grow up to who is sitting here listening to these words, we are often running the programs under the hood. We are running the programs on the computer without actually knowing what's running. And these are the limiting beliefs. These are the patterns, the things that are running our life when we're living our lives on autopilot. And so many people will say, how am I supposed to see something that's unconscious? How am I supposed to see the beliefs that are running beneath my consciousness? Because that's the whole point of them being unconscious, is that they're not in my awareness. And so how do we begin to bring these things into our awareness? And that's through these questions. Why do I respond the way I do? Why do I act the way that I do? Why did I get triggered in a certain circumstance? And so in any time that you, like throughout your day, if something, it's easiest to start off with maybe the things that are contracting you, that are, ticking you off, that are making you feel sad, angry, fearful, all the things you maybe don't prefer to feel. Those are the ones that you maybe want to approach in first, but you can do it with all the things. Like, why does eating pizza make me happy? You know what I mean? That maybe perhaps not the best example, but I happen to be one who loves pizza. And it's one of the reasons I'm pretty sure that I incarnated now so that I could actually eat pizza in all of its beauty. Okay, I digress. So if your partner, your friend, someone says something to you and you get triggered, maybe not even in that moment, because in that moment you might just need to step back. But when you ask yourself after, or even in the moment if you can, that would be beautiful. Why did I just get triggered? What thought was I having when that happened? Where did that thought come from? Did it come from a teacher? Did it come from a teaching? Did it come from my religion? Did it come from an experience? Why did it respond? Why did my body contract? Why did I get upset? And this sounds so easy, but it's not always easy because we're not used to that self-exploration. We're not used to asking the whys again and again. You know, I'm not sure, I can't recall the name of it, but there's like you ask 7 whys in a row to get to the root cause of what it is that may be triggering you. And it can even just be like, why do I not like a certain exercise? Why do I not like to be around a certain people? How do they make me feel? Why do I feel that way? What memories come up when I do feel that way? When we can begin to understand why we do the things we do, why do we have the habits that we do? Why do we have the patterns? Are they ours? Do they still resonate with us? Again, more questions. When you see something, why am I like that? And is it true? Is what I believe true? Is the underlying pattern true? Is it something that is still relevant to me? Is this response appropriate or accurate to who I am now? Because you have to remember, just like all of the inner parts that we have, they all took on a belief. They all took on a understanding of the world based on a situation, typically a trauma, big T or little T, trauma that caused them to go, ooh, we are not safe in this circumstance. We are going to play this belief and we are going to do it. And they keep their heads down and they operate that program over and over again until you change it. These patterns, these programs that we took on as kids, that we took on throughout our lives, will continue to play until we change them. And the only way that we even realize that we are playing them still is when we begin to be curious, when we begin to ask, why did I feel this way? Why did I get triggered? Why did I do what I did? Why do I just behave the way I do? Why do I not like to be in groups of people? Why do I feel intimidated around these people? Why do I feel uncomfortable with this visibility? Why do I feel... Ask yourself all of the whys. Be curious about who you are and what makes you tick. What makes you you? What makes me Joanne? What makes another person? But your focus is, what makes me me? What makes me behave the way I do, say the things I do, respond the way that I do to certain circumstances? And the easy ones for you are going to be the patterns, the ones that keep cycling around and around. And if you set the intention right now to become aware of those patterns, those responses, those triggers, those behaviors, those habits. Why is it that you go to the refrigerator to eat the peanut butter by the spoonful? What made you do that? Why did I do that? Why did I run to the fridge to want that? What was I satisfying? What was I needing? What was the thing before my need that came forward that says you should go get a spoonful of peanut butter from the fridge? We all have patterns. We all have habits. And right now, we are being called forward. You're going to feel the energy supporting you in recognizing the patterns that are no longer serving you, recognizing the responses that are no longer serving you. And you can help accelerate this process along by being curious about yourself, why you do the things you do, why you respond the way you do, why you react to circumstances the way you do, why you have the behaviors and the patterns and the programs and the habits that you do. It may not seem super sexy, but who is your favorite topic? Who's the person that you know the most? It's yourself. So how exciting is it to get the opportunity to explore yourself a little bit further? And why do you like the things that you do? Why do you enjoy some of the things? How did those programs get in play? Was it because you felt good? Someone said that you were really good at basketball, and so you've put all of your focus, and now you're really good at basketball. But do you actually like basketball? Or do you like the fact that you felt good? Do you enjoy the things that you're doing? Or did you start doing them because you felt like you were praised for it? You thought that you were celebrated. You became part of the group. And what happens if you change that? Are you still happy doing that? Are you still happy? Are the things that you even really enjoyed doing, even just a month or two ago, are you still enjoying them now? You might not be. You are changing so quickly. Our energetics are changing. We are shifting back into who we truly are at a soul level in the body that we're in. And we're going to be called to release stuff. We're going to be called to release patterns, behaviors, programming, limitations. And some of those things may even be things that we have enjoyed. And so we might not even be thinking about those. But are you truly loving all the aspects of your life? Those areas those hobbies, the things that you love to do, are they still lighting you up? Are they still bringing you joy? Why do I do that hobby, that pastime? Why do I watch that TV series? Whatever it is for you, allow the curiosity to be your guide. Maybe even invite in that little aspect of yourself that is that curious explorer, that little part of you that would love to go to every corner and explore and dig into and just have fun with it. This isn't deep excavation as to what your problems are, focusing on the bad. It's being curious and open and expansive to say, I'm willing to see those things that are limiting me right now. I'm willing to see, and I'm open to see and change and release and transmute those things, those behaviors, those patterns, those beliefs that I have that maybe have been unconscious, but that now through my openness to the new, my openness to being curious, my openness to being in wonder, I wonder why I do these things. I wonder why I respond the way I do. I wonder why I like this thing that I like. I wonder if I still like it. Whatever it is, if you embrace that inner child of you, that joyful, creative, interesting, curious one, invite them in and just be curious this week as to why you do the things you do. Because with all that's coming up, in the energetics, in the astrology, in our evolutionary path, this is the question I'm called to bring forth. These are the questions, these are the curiosities and wonders that you are being invited to explore in a joyful, light-hearted way. And with that said, if you liked this episode of Embodied Soul Podcast, please like it, share it, turn on notifications, and subscribe to my channel. It's free and it really helps get the messages and the energy out to those who need it. I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode of Embodied Soul.